I'm slightly at a loss as to where to start, but I've been sitting around this table for a couple of months now, and I listen to things like qualified audits, missing data, lessons learned, and I think of the poor taxpayers who are paying vast amount of tax to fund what is now a very large state part of our economy. I then read in here in 22.3 and 23.4, the programme was rated red. Successful delivery of the project appears to be unachievable. There are major issues with project definition, schedule, budget, quality and/or benefits delivery, which at this stage do not appear to be manageable or resolvable. I read of procurement errors, I read of a lack of planning, I read of a lack of expertise, and I question really whether you have the right staff to actually now deliver what is an extremely delayed project, which has cost the taxpayer, directly or indirectly, or however you want to look at it, an awful lot of money, and we don't seem to have got yet a date for either the delivery or indeed a final cost. So my question first is, have you got the right staff, and are you actually holding your consultants to account in the way that a private sector company would have to do to avoid going bankrupt?
Okay, cover that question. I suppose I would start in answering that question just to say, as we've been going through this reset and developing the integrated plan, we still have been delivering and progressing the transition and transformation. So just this year, we've transferred all of our front office and back office operational staff to Soprasteria. We've launched the first iteration of our new mobile app that uses our new digital integration layer to connect all of the suppliers. It uses our digital experience.
My question was about staff, though, Dex. Have you got the right staff to now deliver what is required? I mean, you chose to go a high-risk route, and so far you've failed to deliver it. So, I mean, Matthew, I think you've been involved in this for some time. Yes. I mean, are you going to be able to deliver this? Have you got the right staff to deliver it? Are we going to be sitting here in a year's time having the same conversation? I mean, as you probably know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again and expecting a different result. So are we going to make progress and sort this out, or are we going to be having this conversation when you next come before the committee?
If I maybe deal with the first part on the right people, the resources and capacity. So, as I said earlier, we knew we needed to get more people in. We have had challenges in different areas. Now we have the heavyweight system integrator that's given us, Matt talked about the numbers before, real strength, real scalability in there. Now we've pulled in some really senior and experienced resource from government, our programme director, our commercial director, getting David Goldstone to help us on that. 2 new non-executives who've got real digital experience. We're recruiting another non-executive that will come and help us on our board as we go through there. So we've moved from around 220 roles to 368 or so roles.
Cost.
So I think that has been built into our cost. So I think we now are in a better position to deliver this from the resource. We've got a much strengthened senior team which help us. Maybe if Matt talks about the other points around consultants, etc.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We are managing them. We've got very fixed outcomes on which they're paid. So there are milestones against which we provide sign off, and that only happens when there's a deliverable. But importantly there as well, what we don't want is for the system integrators to come in, kind of do the implementation, and then all the knowledge walk out the door. So knowledge transfer is a really key sort of focus for us as well. So making sure we've got, as I mentioned earlier, people in the going forward organisation to actually receive that knowledge. So we do have people working side by side with the consultants, taking on that knowledge. We've got a good kind of proof point on that with our service management activity. So that's a contract that we let to consultants about 3 years ago.
Matthew, if you read your report here, yes, your staff that are working with the consultants have not been holding the consultants to account. You've been wasting vast amounts of money on projects that have basically not gone anywhere.
I'll bring you in a second. Yeah. Let Rupert finish with Matthew.
So I mean, that's my question. My question is, have you got the right staff now? And I'm going to ask you a slightly impertinent question, Dax. I mean, in my experience of running businesses, somebody from marketing, which you clearly have a marketing background, and you speak very well and you present very well. But in my experience, marketing, and Matthew, you've been involved with this for some time, so you two are leading this still.
Yes.
One from marketing, and in my experience, marketing people should never be anywhere near systems implementation. That is something I've learnt over my time in the private sector. So are you, not only do you have the right staff, have they got the right leadership? That's my question.
Maybe if I can start the answer there. So I have a marketing background in distant past. I've also worked in procurement, where I led the last retender in 2014 to go through there. I've worked on implementations of big digital services like childcare services, like Help to Save. So I've got a breadth of experience that brings to the table as well. I would say, though, is we recognise on something this big, this complex, we won't have all of the skills, hence why we've tried to bring experienced resource in. David Goldstone is an excellent example of that. You know, he's lived it, done it right across the civil service. We're going to take all of that benefit from that. The non-executives we're bringing in, who's had that experience as well, really help strengthen our governance to go through this. So we know we need to bring